Good afternoon. It's my unfortunate task today to tell you that the search for Jose Lara has ended with the recovery of Jose's body. We're grieving with the family and ask for your prayers as they grieve this unimaginable loss of a son, brother, and grandson. As you know, Jose was reported missing around 1:45 p.m. yesterday, Sunday afternoon. We immediately dispatched available deputies, detectives, and began a canine search. We received air support from Volusia and Marion counties, as well as canine units from St. John's. Also assisting in the search was the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department, the Northeast Florida Incident Management Team, and many other entities who came to give us a hand with the search. The searches last night continued until about midnight and resumed around 2 a.m. There was law enforcement presence on scene at all times. Today, we made the decision out of an overabundance of caution to drain the septic tank on the property directly behind me. As the contractor arrived and began probing, one of our investigators saw an area that was overgrown but had a spot that appeared to have been disturbed. Once this discovery was made, it appeared the clean out for the septic tank was actually covered with an improvised cover consisting of some type of a board, a piece of plywood or OSB or something like that. This was in an overgrown area that was covered in brush and was not discovered until just a few moments ago whenever the contractor began probing, looking for the actual clean out site for the septic tank. It was at that point that some of our detectives and the contractor removed some of the debris and dirt that was surrounding the clean out, at which point they began the process of draining the septic tank and found Jose's body submerged. Tonight, if you're so inclined, I'd ask all of you to please pray for not only the family, but also each of the first responders who came and gave selflessly of themselves and volunteered their own time to come and look for this child. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to take any questions if you like.
Sheriff, do we believe that the little boy ended up in there accidentally?
The investigation is still ongoing. There's nothing to indicate at this point that there was any type of foul play suspected, but it is still an active investigation, so we'll make that determination at a later date.
Sheriff, is this the home on the property that the family lived on?
Yes, it is.
Did he have to crawl into the septic tank? How high up was it off the ground or in the ground?
So it's actually at ground level. There's a concrete pad that surrounds it, and then around that concrete pad, it was overgrown with some weeds, and then apparently covered in some dirt, and then just beneath the layer of dirt, there was actually a piece of plywood that had been there for some time, and it appeared it had rotted to the extent that whenever he stepped on it, he actually fell in. So after he fell in, it appears as though there was, I guess, some spring in the board itself, and it almost came back into the same position that it would have been in originally.
Approximately how far away was this from his house?
Just an estimate, probably 35 to 40 yards.
Sheriff, how's the family doing right now?
I have not been in contact with them. They were just notified prior to the press conference of Jose's passing. But again, our thoughts and prayers go out to them.
And Sheriff, while we all understand that the investigation is certainly not concluded, at least initially you're thinking that there was some sort of accidental fall through that board into the septic tank.
That's what it appears like right now, yes.
And I guess the mother was inside with the other child for we don't know how long.
That's our understanding. As we piece together the investigation, hopefully those details will become more clear to us.
You said the decision was made to drain the septic tank. Was that after multiple other areas had been searched? Because there was a pond in the area. Can you kind of describe what was going on?
Sure. So there's multiple bodies of water that surround the property. We had done our best to search those, as well as using some of our air assets who have infrared capability to search the immediate area and the wooded area around the home. And it's not an uncommon practice in this type of investigation where there's a child missing to search the septic tank as well. It was actually one of our leadership team members who made that call to drain the septic tank, and it was at that point that we unfortunately discovered the child's body.
Can you clarify what time that decision was made and the time you exactly found him?
I don't know those exact times, but it was within the last couple of hours.
Why was that decision to check the septic tank today and maybe not last night?
Well, we never had any indication that the septic tank had been disturbed last night, and that brings up another point too. As you're aware, we had an overabundance of canines here. One of the interesting things that we discerned through the canine searches is there was no indication that Jose had left the property. And as I said, this area appeared undisturbed and never gave anyone any indication that there was any way possible that this child could have fallen through the septic tank yesterday.
Sheriff, what's the approximate depth of that septic tank?
I don't know.
Sheriff, we were told that the child only knew Spanish words. Was there any language issues when you guys arrived on scene and communicating with the family and being able to actively look for the child?
No, actually there wasn't. We actually have several Hispanic deputies who are bilingual, and that certainly aided our ability to communicate with the family.
Speaking about your law enforcement officers, you said pray for them as well. How were they all doing? You had several different counties here helping in this search.
You know, this certainly is not the resolution that we had hoped for. It was our hope and our prayer that Jose was still alive and that we would continue this search indefinitely if needed until we found him. And this was certainly the worst possible case scenario as far as outcome.
Sheriff, how many approximately law enforcement officers have been here and manpower put into this over these last 24 hours?
I'd say over the last 24 hours, with all of our resources combined, approximately 120 to 140 officers and a complement of firefighters and search and rescue personnel as well.
And how large has the grid search been for them?
We've actually gone out well, you've seen the helicopter circling over today. I'd say we covered an area during the ground search of at least 1.5 miles to 2 square miles, and no less than probably a 5 to 7 square mile area radius with the helicopters as well.
And if you could speak candidly about how quickly a child can sometimes accidentally get away from their parents, like a scenario like this.
Absolutely. You know, these things happen in just a blink of an eye, and it's terribly unfortunate what's happened here, but it just it serves as a reminder to all of us who have children and our parents that there's never an opportunity to leave them unsupervised or to take your eyes off of them. Otherwise, something unfortunately tragic like this might happen. All right, thank you very much.